Hamas by welcoming Ambassador Marco Sermoneta to the Nine. He's the Consul General of Israel to the Pacific Northwest, based in San Francisco. Marco, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, so Marco, first of all, how's your family doing over in Israel right now? Have you been able to get in touch with them?
Yes, thank you. My family is okay. My friends are okay. I, of course, have been able to talk to them, but we're not okay. None of us is okay. This is unprecedented. This is a large-scale pogrom on Israeli towns, on innocent civilians, and every single house, every single home in Israel is feeling it. You can imagine that yesterday you talked to my colleague. He was talking about 1,000 killed and murdered. Now we're looking at 1,200. Mm-hmm. We don't have the final number, the final tally. We haven't informed all the families. And who knows how long all these funerals are going to take.
Let me ask you. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. So you can imagine the magnitude of the pain and the anger that now is part of our daily life. At the same time, the resolve to eradicate Hamas. There's no other choice.
And the carnage that was carried out by Hamas, unspeakable. The murder of babies, how these bodies were treated, it just really boggles the mind here. And now we have these hostages that are being held. Are families getting enough information about the hostages? We have learned about some of them, but in general here, what are the families getting what they need from the Israeli government, from the American government, that type of thing?
I trust that, first of all, the dialogue that's ongoing between the highest levels of the Israeli government and the American government, as well as other governments who may have citizens included in the list of unaccounted for or kidnapped, brutally kidnapped, savagely taken away, is ongoing. And of course, part of our responsibility as a government is to make sure that we reach out to each and every one of these families.
Have you been in contact with the White House about getting information about the hostages and those who have been injured and killed?
That's more the responsibility of my friend and colleague, our ambassador in Washington, Mr. Michael Herzog.
And so you're getting information from him, I guess, updates. I do want to ask you this. We did mention a moment ago about that Berkeley-born man, Hersh Goldberg-Pullen, whose family relocated to Israel. He was born in Berkeley, but the family moved to Israel several years ago. Do you know of more families, either here in the Bay Area or Pacific Northwest, looking for information about family either being held hostage in the region or in the general area?
No, not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Let me ask you this here, as we watch this unfold and we understand the intensity of the fight here. Israel is attacking Hamas that committed these atrocities here. I wanted to ask you how Americans should feel about this. We have, of course, the unyielding support for Israel, but then there are some people in Gaza that didn't ask for this, that are now in the middle of this. How do Americans separate the battle between Hamas and understanding the Palestinian people that just live their daily lives in Palestine?
In Hamas-occupied Gaza,
right?
There's nothing to suggest that this is a two-side situation. This was never the case after 9/11. It was never the case with ISIS. And Hamas is ISIS. If it takes children out of their cribs and shoots them in the head, if it burns women after raping them, if it slaughters elderly, then it talks like a duck, it walks like a duck, and it is a duck. Hamas is ISIS. And we've been telling this to the world for 20, 30 years. They've been telling you. They declare, they openly say that they want to destroy Israel. Their anti-Semitic philosophy is all about murdering every single Jew. And we've seen the sneak preview of what Hamas would do if it only could. Now, Israel is only targeting terrorists, not militants, not gunmen. These people are terrorists. We have the right and the obligation to defend our citizens and to protect our territory. And as usual, we go to very long way to avoid any unwanted harm. But on the other hand, while we target military targets and we make these efforts to minimize this harm to civilians, we have to remember that this is not what is going to stop us from going after Hamas and going after each and every one of its members. And I also would like to underline that civilian objectives may constitute legitimate military targets under international law, of course, when used by terrorists for their own military purposes.
Israel, of course. Go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, Israel, of course, created to protect the Jewish people and Israeli people. Of course, that is its reason for existence. What do you want to see the American government do here? We're already sending help here. We already have the USS Gerald Ford heading into the Mediterranean right now. What else can be done to help the folks in Israel right now and to help the Israeli military in combating this terrorist attack?
I think we can't ask for more. What we've heard yesterday from President Biden was an unequivocal support. It was probably a speech that every single Israeli needed to hear, every single Jew in America needed to hear. What we'd like to see is a continuous support from the American population. We've seen too much efforts to sanitize what Hamas has done to innocent Israelis. We're seeing a spike, an uptick in anti-Semitic comments and incidents since the beginning of this war. And this is something that should be rejected and something that should be condemned, because we, as representative of the Jewish state, are also concerned about the safety of Jews anywhere around the world, including in America. And so what I would expect is simple: moral clarity. In a situation like this, there should be moral clarity. And where there is moral clarity, there is no space for ifs or buts or both sides. There's only one side here, and that's the Israeli democracy defending itself, protecting its citizens, and eradicating terrorism from its neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's easy to understand why here when you understand exactly how violent what Hamas carried out on these people when they moved into Israel is absolutely incredible to hear, to see, and the visuals coming out of that area. I hope people understand the intensity of what Hamas did when they carried out that attack and the reason for the response for that. Ambassador Marco Sermoneta, Consul General to Israel, to the Pacific Northwest, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck to your family. We'll keep staying on top of the story. We appreciate it.
Thank you for giving me the time and the space to express